Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Toddler Techies where I'll be taking you through how to do something awesome with Ruby on Rails. So today we'll be checking out how to add Recaptcha to our website, and I'll be using the Ruby on Rails gem, which is the Recaptcha gem to test this out. So first and foremost, let's create an app. Let's create a new Rails app, Rails new. Let's call it our test app. So we set up our test app, and while our test app is being set up, we'll go on to grab the keys and set up our recapture. As you can see, I have this is the analytics of one that I set up recently, and then we can go create a new one. Let's create a recapture for test app. Let's use v3 or V2. Let's use V2 so that it will show I'm not a robot and pop up different pictures for us to verify. We choose the domain that we want to use this on. Since we are testing, we will use our local host and then accept terms of service. Yeah, sure. Send alert to owners. No, I don't want to get alerts. So I submit this and it should pop up the keys and the secrets. So this is what I'll use in my website in my Rails app to verify. Yeah. Now we can see that our app is done. Let's cd into our test app. When we cd into our test app, we'll do a couple of things. We'll do our Rails DB migrate. No, Rails DB create first. Rails DB create and DB migrate, so that I can create our database and also do any necessary migrations, which is not necessary at the moment. Let me go into my app in VS Code and check out what the Rails new has given unto me. So what first thing I'll do is to add the necessary gems. So I'll be adding gem.env gem.env. This will help me maintain my environment variables, and then I'll also be adding the gem recapture, which will be helping me handle the recapture itself. So I save this and go to my code and I do a bundle install, which will grab the gem files from online and bring them to my app. So when that is done, I'll scaffold a new user. Yeah, that's done. So I'll do a Rails G scaffold. I'll scaffold a user, and what do I want my user to have? I want him to have first name, last name. Let me give him an email. I think that's fine for our test. So we scaffold a user, and after scaffolding a user, we would run our migrations. Yeah, so those are the files that scaffold created for us. Then we run our migration Rails db migrate, so that I can create it in our schema and update our database with it. So now that that is migrated, we'll go back into our app to see what other configurations we need to do. So we'll be needing our recapture site key and our recapture site secret. And since I've added .env rails into my gem files, let me increase this. Okay, so since I've added .env rails into my gem file, I can go into the root directory of my app and add a .env. This works for local environment files, so I can go into the root of my directory and add my .env files, and I'll bring in my I'll bring in my credentials that I need to use. So I need to use the recaptcha site key and the recaptcha secret key. Those are the those are the variables that the gem recognizes. When we do this, we go grab the ones that we created already. So here it is. That's the site key and the site secrets. Yeah, so with that setup, next thing to do is to set up our form basically and put in the recaptcha into our form. So first things first, before we do that though, let's go into our app itself and check out what we have on our app. So we go into the console, into our terminal, and we do a Rails S to see what we have already and see if everything is working. If everything is working fine, so we go into local host 3000 to check, and yay, we're on Rails. We have a user, so let's check out our user route and see what we have. At the moment, we don't have any users, so it should show us, yeah, we don't have any users, so it shows us an empty list. We create a new user, and then the awesomeness of Google, and I can just keep creating users as much as I want. The same way someone that is malicious can just go to your website and keep creating users or signing your contact forms or just carry on doing different evil malicious things. So let's prevent this. First things first, we go to the view and we add our recaptcha to the view. So let's go to the views, and then under users we have our form. So let's add our recaptcha tag to our form. So we go yep equal to recaptcha underscore tags. So this simple one line should do a whole lot of things. It should first display I'm not a robot on the screen. So let's go back to our form. Okay, now we can see that our user page now has an I'm not a robot recaptcha symbol showing. You can modify this in different ways. Change it to a dark theme. I don't think you can change you can change the visibility of it so that it keeps a consistent look across board. But basically, okay, now we have our recaptcha, and then when we try to sign up a new user, and boom, we see that we can still sign up a new user. So there's an extra step to make sure the recaptcha works. There's the step of verifying that okay, a recaptcha comes with the model that we are dropping into our controller. So we go into our controller and we check for recaptcha. We check we go into the method that saves, and then here we verify that our recaptcha is actually part of the model that is being saved. So we add our recaptcha here. We had a verify recaptcha model user, and then if that works, then we save our user. So when we save that, head back into our browser and try to submit. You see that it's telling us recaptcha verification failed, please try again. So even if I add my details and I still click again, it still fails. So until I verify before I can save. I've verified so many times, right? So it doesn't bring the pictures again. But here, yeah, that's it. So basically that's the end of our recaptcha video. Cheers. Have a good one.